Hey, this is Calvin Parker. You're listening to the Unbeliever Podcast.
There were several groups. One of the principal ones was the reptilians from the Orion complex.
Without any exaggeration, it was like being on fire inside.
Rats were eating you inside.
This stuff was in my mouth. It felt like it was 500 degrees. It was unbelievably hot.
My first question would be, were you a member of the Church of Satan, a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan?
I don't understand.
There's always an argument for everything, you know? Just because somebody can fake something doesn't necessarily mean it's
War, and we found a life form. And that's when I started shitting my pants.
So for the person who called, I am carrying an alien.
An alien baby, and we covered right here, okay?
Okay.
Something is happening. What is it? That's the question. So do UFOs exist? It depends on what you mean exist.
Lakes, large bodies of landlocked water that are usually associated with freshwater fishing, water skiing, and disposing those pesky dead bodies. But there is, unseen by most, an underworld, a dark side to these normally innocent pools of wetness that involve some of the scariest of all the cryptid beings, monsters. Tonight, the Unbelievers Podcast reopens the square circle of battle, this time traveling to one of the wettest places on land, the lakes. What is stalking the tidal island of Okey in Ireland? Do the lakes of Utah hide an ancient dinosaur fish that is threatening our 22-year-old hotties? And why are these wildly different lake monsters engaging in mortal conflict? We'll find out now as we host this all-new Lake Monster Mash and Bash. Right here in the program, we continue to learn to unlearn everything you know. Hello and welcome to the Unbelievers Podcast. I'm your host, Rus Ryan, and joining me as always is my co-host, Drea Mora. Hello, Drea.
Hey, what's up?
And returning co-host, Aaron Schilb. Hello, Aaron.
Hello, hello.
And our soundboard engineer and producer, Rob Okey.
What's up, guys?
Hello, everyone. And hello, Aaron.
It's good to be back, y'all. How you been?
Great.
It's great to have you back. We missed you. Man, it's been a long time since we had you on. Last time you were here, we were talking about the Hodag, a fun mystical creature. And that's one of my favorite episodes. I love that one.
There has been no declination in the craziness of stuff that's going on out in the real world. It's all crazy.
It's very true. And it's fun to chronicle it with you. And I know your show's still going strong. Nashville Tour Stop.
That is
still
the
out
one,
there.
yeah.
Check it out. But let's get into it now because we did Winged Weirdies a couple of weeks ago. And making those Winged Weirdies fight and Kong vs. Godzilla being a thing. I don't know. I just want to see these things go at it. So let's get into it now. It's time for Lake Monster Mash and Bash.
You hear stories of monsters in the waters, endless counts of horrific manslaughter. Sailors tell tales of beasts on the sea. What they don't tell you is that the worst one is me. You hear stories of monsters in the waters, endless counts of horrific manslaughter. Sailors tell tales of beasts on the sea. What they don't tell you is that the worst one is me. What we gonna do with sea monsters? What we gonna do with sea monsters?
Yeah, what we're gonna do, that is Captain Dan and the Scurvy Crew. Sea Monster song.
Intimidating.
That is a song for sure.
It exists.
Staying in the world of aquatic cryptids, following last week's mermaids, tonight we are heading to the lake to talk some lesser known but dangerous lake monsters. Drea, are you a fan of lake monsters?
I like the idea that they exist, but it just contributes to why I don't really like lakes. I don't like going in them. I'll watch them from a distance, yeah.
What about you, Aaron? You a fan of lake monsters?
Yeah, actually, I am. This was a great episode to get to do because I actually grew up on a lake, and I was really scared as shit growing up to get into it because my older brothers told me that if I went in, snakes would eat me. So it's kind of convenient that we were watching an episode today about, like, reptiles and shit eating people out of lakes, so it hit close to home.
Snakes are known creatures, but they are definitely lake monsters. What about you, Rob? Have you ever even been by a lake? You live way on Long Island, right?
There's tons of lakes on Long Island. But yes, I'm a big fan of lake monsters. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, I've always wanted to be friends with a lake monster. But I think that just stems back to when I was a kid. I saw a movie, I think it was called like Magic in the Water or something along those lines. But I had already been a fan of like Nessie from the books, seeing the books in the library when I was a kid. But then I saw this movie where this little kid became friends with Loch Ness or whatever this lake monster was, and I was like, oh, now I love them. One day I need to meet one. So I love them.
Human friends weren't cutting it for Rob.
No.
He needs the lake friends.
I might change that opinion tonight because I need to stress that the lake monsters being discussed tonight are ones that are considered very dangerous due to their aggressive nature. And I thought it might be fun if we let them fight again. Just like the Winged Weirdies, who were forced to fight for our amusement. We're going to make these two lake monsters go at it. So let's make the first of these dangerous and unpredictable lake monsters hailing from Okey Island, Ireland. It's Dohbar-Chu. But before we dive into this Irish lake monster, let's make sure we pronounce its name correctly. Dohbar-Chu, Dohbar-Chu. Here is the proper pronunciation from Ireland's top cryptozoologist, Ronan Coghlan.
You can pronounce it Dohbar-Chu or Dohbar-Chu. In Ireland, the earliest mention I know of regarding the Dohbar-Chu is that of Roderick O'Flaherty, who lived in the 17th century.
Dohbar-Chu. I like that one. I'm sticking with that over
it's a little easier.
Dohbar-Chu. What did he say before?
Dohbar-Chu. How much stank should we put on it?
He puts a good bit on both of them, but he said Dohbar-Chu is also acceptable. But play soundboard 1 because I'm sticking with this. It's easy to remember.
Dohbar-Chu.
Dohbar-Chu.
Cool.
Count
Okay.
Dohbar-Chu.
It's pretty cool.
All right, it's the Irish lake monster, the Dohbar-Chu. So we've got the name nailed down. Now let's hear the physical description of this creature from couple Sean and Miranda Corcoran, who, while on a holiday in the area of Okey Island in 2004, came upon this horrifying sight.
It's a kind of like a large otter-like creature with a very large head, possibly teeth.
Very scary face.
It definitely had a tail. It could swim as fast as any creature, any kind of water-like creature like an otter or anything like that.
And we watched what to me looked like two huge, big, reddy orange flippers just swimming across the lake.
It was about the size of a man.
This guy was huge.
These Dohbar-Chus are huge, man.
Sky News 9 in 1999.
Those rods are huge, man.
So you're just going straight with Dohbar-Chu already.
Yeah, they are. Play soundboard 2 because
this guy was huge.
Kind of goes with that rods thing. They're not very clear when they're describing it. The best I can find is that according to Irish folklore, is that the Dohbar-Chu, it resembles both a dog and an otter. A dog and an otter.
Okay.
Though sometimes it's described as half dog, half fish. It lives in water, it has fur with protective properties, and it is very big, possibly 10 to 15 feet. So imagine like a furry alligator, Aaron, with an otter head in Ireland.
I saw a photo of it when I Googled it, of this, it looked like an alligator with two legs sticking out of the mouth. It's just like eating a human. I'm like, all right, that adds up, yeah.
But I mean, alligator is one thing. A giant otter is a completely different thing.
It's a totally different situation.
Completely different type of an animal. And I don't know how they keep kind of mixing them together and saying it like it's the same sort of creature, but I was not expecting them to describe it as looking like an otter right off the bat. I was expecting
That's not a very menacing animal.
Well, that, and I just
it sounds cute.
It's just more mammal and less reptile than I expected.
Kidding me? A 15-foot alligator, furry otter coming at you with whatever they said. It had orange paddles or something on it. This is possibly. It might even have teeth. That's even scarier.
Yeah, what does that mean?
This is a fearsome lake monster, according to one of the eyewitnesses, Sean Corcoran.
You wouldn't just pick it up and walk away with it. Well, you certainly wouldn't be approaching this creature because the way it snarled, it was definitely not happy.
After a few years of Sean researching that, we discovered that there was a creature there called the Dohbar-Chu.
You can't pick this up. An otter can be picked up, and I'm no otter guy, I know, but you cannot pick this thing up.
I'd be afraid to even pick up an otter because, it's not, just because it's cute doesn't mean it wants to be handled and it'll bite you. This thing Yeah, and I don't think I would chance that either.
I'm not no sheep guy, but I could pick up a sheep.
Or an otter, apparently.
I think I'm with you there. Otters seem kind of slimy, and they definitely have teeth. I don't think I'd pick one up.
I just was at an animal refuge the other day and was looking at otters, so I can really picture this in my mind. Those things would be like a really big one. That would be pretty scary, actually. And if it was coming at you, that's I don't know. It's as scary as like a tiger, I feel like, or like any of those sort of animals, you know?
Yeah, because all those animals are cute. Bears are cute, but you don't want to. Cute doesn't mean not dangerous. We know.
No one's saying this thing is cute. That's why the alligator is sprinkled in, or maybe it's a little bit of dog.
I don't know, man. Every time I imagine it, it's just getting cuter and cuter.
Oh no, it's gonna get worse. They're fighting. We're not putting cute things together to go at it. That's not the purpose of this. But this couple had this experience, and they were very curious about it. And you heard them there. They discovered that this Dohbar-Chu or Dohbar-Chu has been sighted for centuries near the banks of an abandoned place called Okey Island. It was a very ancient island. It is a tidal island, which means that during the day you can drive onto this island, but at night when the tide comes in, you're stuck there. Yeah. And this is the stomping ground of Dohbar-Chu.
That was so cool, by the way, seeing that little aspect of what it's like to live on this island, how literally their going back and forth depends on nature, like the tide. If the tide is up, you're not leaving the island.
You have
scary sounding.
You gotta just hope someone on that island is gonna take you in for the night. They're like, you're not going anywhere for a while.
Yeah,
so
that's
come in, have some tea.
So crazy. And seeing what it looks like it literally is just a road where the water just rises up over the road every day or every whatever the tide is, couple days or something, and then goes back down so people can cross this road. But I've never really seen anything like that before. I thought that it was very old, felt very old world.
World.
They haven't changed anything in 200 years in this area of Ireland.
It sounds magical, doesn't it?
Mothman has no power here. There's no bridges. This is the lair of the Dohbar-Chu. And they make a point in this show to establish that the witness, Sean Corcoran, despite being very, very Irish, was in fact sober for this encounter. It's unbelievable. And this is a fact which impressed the Irish Lauren Coleman. They've got one.
He is not someone who claims to have seen this while staggering home at night from the pub, a bottle of Guinness in one hand and a bottle of whiskey in the other. His sighting was under the right conditions. Secondly, being an artist, he had an eye for detail and took things in. He was, of course, able to make reproductions of what he had seen. So all in all, he is what would be regarded as a reliable witness.
Hey, hear that, Aaron? For once, an ideal witness in a monster case. He's not only sober, but he's an artist, and he can paint an accurate portrayal of what he saw.
I have no idea. It reminds me of the alien guy who used to paint the depictions of what would happen to him when he ejaculated into the bowl. It's just
David Huggins.
Oh yes,
yeah. It's just being an artist definitely makes it believable.
Yeah,
it helps.
That's what makes the encounter real. It's not that he was sober; it's that he could draw it.
Yeah, exactly.
We went to this room. There was this bowl on this table, and I was supposed to ejaculate into the bowl.
All right, so you brought it down. I was trying to give props to this guy because there's a lot of Tim Peelers out there that usually come forward with these stories, but not Sean Corcoran. He didn't have a bottle of Jameson and a bottle of Guinness in the other hand, which I guess is a normal fare. The way, man, even that guy, the Irish Lauren Coleman, he said he takes his time with his arguments in this. I like that.
Yeah, I wonder if he had
Was it at the bottom of a bottle of John Barleycorn?
Man, I forgot about that clip. Good one.
Really good one. That guy, I really like him. I really enjoy listening to this Irish cryptozoologist, Ronan Coghlan. He has that great Irish storytelling ability when he talks about the Dohbar-Chu or Dohbar-Chu. And here's Mr. Coghlan telling of this mysterious lake monster's first sighting.
In Ireland, the earliest mention I know of is that of Roderick O'Flaherty, who lived in the 17th century. He describes how someone he knew was set upon by it on one occasion, and it seized the unfortunate traveller's head in its jaws. The traveller had a bit of a think as the otter was dragging it into the water, and suddenly he remembered he had a knife in his pocket. He doesn't seem to have been the quickest of thinkers, but he pulled this out, plunged it into the Dohbar-Chu, which dived back into the water.
Yes, this is a dangerous lake monster. Imagine a giant otter is biting your head. The horror.
It's way scarier, too, when Hannibal Lecter is describing it for you.
Yes.
Dude, I know Hannibal Lecter is Welsh and this guy's Irish, but the delivery is so, like, creepishly reminds me of Hannibal Lecter, the way that he does it.
Slow and deliberate.
Yes.
Seized his head in its jaws.
I like how he calls him dumb. He basically just calls the guy dumb, too. He's like, he was a little slow-witted. He didn't realize he had his knife on him.
Oh, wait,
lucky for that.
I have a weapon.
I don't know how how did he transport himself out of the Game of Thrones world and get into our reality? 'Cause I'm pretty sure this guy's from Westeros.
They let him go before season 8, probably, because he would have been a great character to have around. But nearly a century after that initial attack, the Dohbar-Chu would return. But this time, he meant business.
On this occasion, a man named Connolly was wondering why his wife was taking so long doing the washing in the lake. Down he went to the lake to discover an horrendous sight. The wife was there, and most of her insides were outside, and the Dohbar-Chu was tucking into them.
Oh my God.
That was the most Hannibal Lecter thing he said this whole time, too.
All he needed to do was say Clarice at the end of it.
Her insides were outside.
You just say he killed the thing, and you got to get so descriptive. Her insides were out, and he was tucking in. He tucked in, Aaron.
That sounds so gross.
Yeah, but that's what makes this thing fierce, man. This lake monster has a body count, and I don't think Nessie or Bessie or Tessie, any of them things have an actual body count. This thing is a killer.
So, what kind of body count are we talking? There's one so far.
All right, well, one's enough. One's a body count.
True.
One is 100% more than Nessie.
Like, if someone got murdered by this thing, there would be a witch hunt out for it. There would be, like, the whole town would be out with their pitchforks and their torches to kill this thing. I don't know. Do you think people really got murdered by this creature?
Like 7 people live on this island. They don't have a lot of choice.
That's true.
What are they going to do?
That is
true. And the tide comes up, it traps them. But this is the most well-known incident involving the Dohbar-Chu, and possibly because the attack is referenced on the gravestone of the victim, Mrs. Connolly.
And if you go into the graveyard near where the incident occurred, you'll find the tombstone of the unfortunate woman and a very curious beast that looks like a cross between a dog and an otter is carved on the tombstone. This is said by locals in hushed tones, because you always speak of such things in hushed tones, to be the beast which killed his wife.
Psst, hey guys, this chick got eaten by an otter dog. Don't tell anybody, pass it on.
Lower your voice. You talk about the otter dog. Shut up.
What the
Hushed tones.
Talk about morbid, dude.
Now, yes, think about how morbid this is, Aaron. It's pretty messed up that they put the killer on... to put her killer on her own grave. I mean, you wouldn't put Jeffrey Dahmer or like Matthew Broderick on your grave. Yeah. That's not happening.
No, but also it doesn't even look that menacing, I don't think. Like it looks like an otter. Like what if the otter was just her favorite friend?
Matthew Broderick.
It was her favorite animal. She loved it.
Hold on. Matthew Broderick did kill a mother and daughter when he turned in the wrong lane in Ireland. So you never know. There might be... They might be gravestones with Matthew Broderick's face on it in Ireland.
Like,
if that's a trend.
It was an honor to be killed by Matthew Broderick.
I never put it together that did happen in Ireland. That's fucked up. Very dark joke, but I like it, Ross. Very good.
Thank you. I was going to go with John Waters, but this happened in Ireland, so I had to go with that.
Jesus. Yeah, like in any sense, you know, everybody who doesn't die of natural causes, you're just going to, maybe there should be an indicator of what caused.
No, no, that's terrible.
Died in a plane crash, and it just shows a bunch of airplanes.
Like a noose or pills or something, or like a bathtub on people's graves.
Yeah,
I don't want to see
you
that.
have a heart attack, just a cheeseburger on a gravestone. They're just like, I love fucking cheeseburgers.
Well, actually, now every time I see a headstone that has a heart on it, I'll have to wonder if it was a heart attack.
You can put a number 1, and it can be a Big Mac and fries. That can be me.
Big Mac, pack of cigarettes,
noted.
bottle of booze, bottle of John Barleycorn. What was that? Play it again. On mine, just put a...
Bottom of a bottle of John Barleycorn.
So we've heard some of the stories, but beyond the stories, there is some physical evidence of this terrifying Dohbar-Chu. Inspired by the continued sightings, a man named Shane Dunphy made a radio documentary for Irish Public Radio about this beast. Traveling to Okey Island with his Zoom recorder, Shane was able to record some unexplained noises coming from the island at night.
That at about 8:38 on that first evening, my Zoom box had recorded about 3 minutes of a very, very unusual sound. And it did send some shivers down my spine when I heard it first. There you go.
Yes, the king of the otters and his insane call. It kind of sounds like a bird almost. Not something you want to hear on an abandoned island in Ireland.
No, so they're hearing that out of the water. I think maybe I just spent too much time with these damn mermaids from the last episode, but that's kind of what I imagine like mermaid calls would sound like.
Yeah.
Mermaids and this thing could be confused. They are very large and big in the water, and I don't know, manatees. Maybe it could have been Dohbar-Chu or Dohbar-Chu.
It sounds like fireworks, kind of, too. Like, it sounds like, you know, like those whistling fireworks that go off. It sounds like that kind of.
Pete's.
Yeah, or, I mean, I don't know. That's like the skeptic side of me.
No,
trying
I appreciate
to make
you
sense
saying
of
that
it.
because, well, I mean, it makes it sound less scary because honestly, that did send some shivers.
There's no
explosion.
explosion. There is no pop, though, which with fireworks usually that noise is followed by like a pop. But yeah, and that's not happening. I've never heard any rat or sort of otter creature. What noise do they usually make?
This is not a regular otter. This is the king of the otters. This is the Dohbar-Chu.
So he howls? He howls like a fucking wolf?
No, he makes it. No, he sounds like.
Screams like a firework.
Like, what is he doing? What is like? What
sounds
is
like
that?
a bottle rocket because he's ready to take off and kill whoever's coming on his tidal island. And before the sightings and the attacks in the modern area, this Dohbar-Chu, he was a part of early Celtic mythology. He's old school.
The Dohbar-Chu originally appears in the oceanic cycle of Celtic mythology. It's set around the time of Christ in Ireland, and it describes this kind of Celtic twilight world where gods and men are fighting and having all sorts of high adventures. And the Dohbar-Chu in that story is supposed to be the king of the otters. It's supposed to be a very, very large otter with a white cross on its breast. Remember, this is the beginning of Christianity in Ireland. But somehow it has made the leap from the pages of folklore into the real lives of people in 21st century Ireland. And I think that's a very interesting point, and it's something that fascinates me a lot, the transmission of these stories.
Oh, yes, me too. See, he's not just a cryptid. To some,
he's like Mothman
royalty.
To us.
He's a fucking superhero. He's got a crucifix. He's got crucifix on his chest like Superman has an S. He's the king of the fucking otters. Can we get...
I was a little confused about that.
Raymond, can you hook me up with something here, dude? Raymond, I need a superhero version of this character, please.
Is the cross like part of his like markings on his fur, or he's literally
it's like
wearing
a fur marking?
crucifix?
It's like when you see a cat with like a wiener like on its face, like a little fur mark. You know what I mean? It looks just
when
like
you see
that,
a cat
but it's
with a wiener on its face.
A giant cross. And hey, Aaron, what do you think? This is myth turned reality. You think this might be a tulpa?
I think that this might be some kind of tulpa.
I can think of a few things that
created.
There's a few things that Christianity created. I think that
Bigfoot might be a kind of tulpa.
Sure, exactly, that kind of thing. So Dohbar-Chu or Dohbar-Chu could be some kind of tulpa because it is in Irish folklore, myth, ancient myth about this island, and that there's what they said high adventures going on. It's very exciting. This island.
I like the sound of that. Some high adventures.
Cheech and Chong style.
I want to go to Ireland and get in some high adventures. Sounds very fucking cool.
Yes, Dre, this is exactly like Cheech and Chong. High adventures, right? They took space coke and they came up with giant otters floating around.
That's my favorite of the Cheech and Chong movies is High Adventures. That's my favorite one.
Don't give me any ideas, please.
What's the deal with Irish? I sound like Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal with the Irish and rodents? What, like, they had Jeff. Wasn't that also an Irish thing?
No,
that was the Isle of Man. Far away.
Well, it's another UK, European. They have this thing.
Well, look, they've got hella rodents.
Yes, it was more wet white people. You're right. It's wet white people way out on the outskirts of wherever, floating around on their
terrible.
islands.
I'm not trying to generalize too much, but it's over in that neck of the woods, right?
How dare you? First off, how dare you?
Everyone's offended now. You're gonna have
I'm sorry. I love everyone.
Everyone loves you too. Seriously.
I don't know. I'm on the fence.
I don't think that's true. According to the reviews, it's not true.
That's almost all we have tonight for this Dohbar-Chu. But before we wrap up, we have to hear one more bit from Irish cryptozoologist and master storyteller Ronan Coghlan, who lets us know that the glory associated with discovering a new species could be yours in Ireland.
If you go swimming in the area they've been reported and you find something sinking its teeth into your leg, then you may have proved the existence of the Dohbar-Chu. Fame and fortune will await you. The Nobel Prize for Science will be thrust in your face. I've not been to Okey Island, but I'm sure I'll familiarize myself with it fairly quickly. And if the Dohbar-Chu should emerge and show fierce tendencies, you will be quite surprised at how fast I can run, bearing my age in mind. Let's go. Fearing nothing.
All right, I kind of hope he finds it one day. I hope it bites him right on his head and they just immediately hand him a Nobel Prize.
No, thrust it in his face. Please tell me you made that a soundboard clip.
No, actually, I didn't. I'm sorry. I did.
Man.
I played Soundboard 3. I did get this.
Let's go. Fearing nothing.
Let's go.
I find that line very inspiring. I feel called to the island now. Like, he's like, just go in there. If you get bitten, fame and fortune is waiting for you. And when he talked about it, though, now that you've got Hannibal Lecter just in my head, I'm picturing when he gets away and he ends up on that island with that hat on, and he's just like, that is this guy now. Like, he's just like, adventure is mine, Curtis. I can be free to eat what I want.
Yeah, he's glorifying getting bitten and chewed on. So, yeah, I can see where this is going to lead.
He's a magical person, this strange guy. I'm pretty sure he was like a leprechaun once before, and now he is converted to being a normal person.
Oh, right. You're just dead set on getting people mad at
man.
Doubling down.
I'm trying to low-key do an episode about my people, and I get shit on. I can say anything.
Hey, I got an apostrophe after my O in my name, so I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say
it's
that.
Robo-Key.
Robo-Key.
Yeah. Okunuits.
You didn't know it was actually Ryle O'Russin, so you need to get this straight.
I know Roderick. We didn't even mention it before. We were talking about a Roderick. Immediately when I heard that name, I thought of Roderick Ryan.
Yeah, Roderick Ryan, the famous general from that episode where I don't know even what that was about. His name was Rod Ryan. We loved it.
The most famous of the Rods. But
we're back. I know these people, the personalities in the paranormal, they always distract from the actual thing. But where are they making these things fight? So, Aaron, what are your thoughts on the Dohbar-Chu or the Dohbar-Chu? Is this a fearsome lake monster?
No, it's a furry, cute animal, mistaken identity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, Drea, I gotta ask you, would you enter this Dohbar-Chu infested island in the dead of night?
Yeah, well, I mean, if the dead of night would be the safest, probably, because it'd be asleep, because it's like a mammal, right? So... Yeah, I would.
You'd be stuck on there. No, this thing goes out at night. It's nocturnal. Otters are nocturnal.
Look, I stay away from lakes' edges when I go camping. Like, I know I don't like waking up soggy and wet when the tide comes in. I'm going to get higher ground. Like, I'll be fine.
Is this a callback to Llorona? Is this what you've learned from the curse of...
I am terrified of any body of water, yes.
You were told that when you were just a wee child, so it seems like it's stuck.
A wee lass.
Just a wee lass, yes. Now,
Drea, just a wee Irish lass living out there.
Oh, Mora.
Oh, Drea, Mora. Oh, Mora. We love you.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
All right, fine. Man, you guys... I guess this thing might get its ass kicked. We got to find out. Drob, what do you think of Dohbar-Chu? I think he's a pretty fierce competitor. I mean, a furry alligator is scary. He kills people. He's biting you on the head. You don't even know it. You forget to stab him.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of him. I think it's probably was like a really big otter. I think he was the king of the otters. Apparently, he was huge. I think he was just a really big otter. It was like freakishly big, and people it was scared some people. He was so big. I think
if you have a knife, you'll be fine, Rob.
Yeah, I think some of these people might have been in a situation where they were just like, when you're really close to something and you don't realize like how intense it's going to be until you actually see it up close. I think that might be sort of what happened with these people is like they got too close to this thing, and it scared them. I don't know.
Because it looked harmless. Yeah.
Ronan Coughlin seems very, very concerned for this thing. He went out there. He's trying to find it. I hope he does.
That
hope he
guy's
gets
awesome.
his Nobel Prize.
That guy's
awesome. He's great. The Irish Lauren Coleman rules. We're going to introduce the challenger for this Lake Monster Mash and Bash, hailing from the good old USA, from Bear Lake, Utah. It's the Water Devil, or Bear Lake Monster, as it is also known, and I'm going to describe this creature for you guys. It is reported to resemble a serpent, but with legs about 18 inches long, on which it marauds along the shoreline. One article reported that the creature had a large undulating body with about 30 feet of exposed surface of a light cream color, moving swiftly through the water. And other reported seeing a monster-like animal which went faster than a locomotive and had a head variously described as being similar to that of a cow, otter, crocodile, or a walrus, minus the tusk. The head could be anything. Its size was reported to be at least 50 feet long and certainly not less than 40. Some sightings even spoke of a second member of the species and smaller monsters as well. So this looks like one that can reproduce. He can do a lot of stuff. And much like Dohbar-Chu or Dorku, this terrifying lake devil has been reported for centuries. Here is some of the folklore from the documentary In Search of the Bear Lake Monster.
Sightings were reported as early as the mid-1800s, and many say that the monster was a piece of the native Shoshone tribe's stories long before that. The first sightings were reported in the Deseret News by Joseph C. Rich. In July of 1868, the Deseret News published an article directly from the pen of Joseph C. Rich himself.
The Indians say there's a monster animal which lives in the lake that has captured and carried away Indians while in the lake. They represent it as being of the serpent kind. Since the settlement of this valley, several persons have reported seeing a huge animal of some kind that they could not describe.
See, it's dangerous. This thing is snatching young kids from the indigenous people of Bear Lake. I don't think even Nessie went that far.
No, Nessie just keeps to him or herself. Probably just eats like kelp and shit, or maybe just little tiny organisms like a whale. But I mean, if something's this big and getting that close to the shore, like a child isn't. I don't know. Can it sneak up on these kids? Like, how is it even doing that?
I don't know. It's got some kind of stealthy, almost. This is the lake monster that actually does look like what you think a lake monster look like a plesiosaur, like a giant dinosaur head, but the head's all over the place. It could be an otter, it could be a bear, a cat. I don't know, there's all kind of different things it could be.
I'm saying, is that a head?
You might be thinking horse monster as well. There's a lot of things going on with this. But speaking of Nessie, according to local children's author Kelly Steele, these two creatures share a connection.
I am a children's author, and I have written the book about Bear Lake and the monster that lives in Bear Lake. This is the picture where we saw he jumps in up here. It's Bear Lake, and he swims down, 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 down. And then you turn the book upside down, and he's coming up in Scotland. So there's no bottom to the lake. He just goes clear through. And there's the Loch Ness Monster right there.
Okay, so the Bear Lake Monster, he travels through the Agartha, and he vacations in Loch Ness. And this is what they're teaching our kids.
Oh, man.
There's got to be some tunnel going from Utah to Loch Ness. That's how they're hanging out so much.
It's a direct line, and they are the same creature. He doesn't want to eat the people of Scotland, so he wants to eat, I don't know, Mormons in Utah? Like, come on, Nessie.
Well, I mean, it actually works. In the Kong versus Godzilla world, that does kind of work. You just go underground and you just meet up underground. Everybody's just under there.
We know where they stole it. They stole it straight from the story of the Bear Lake Monster, the water demon, the wet demon. And, okay, I guess. If this is a children's author. This guy, Kelly Steele, he's putting this in books, indoctrinating kids that if they go in that lake, they could probably swim. That's like saying you could dig to China as a kid. Like, no, you just swim to Scotland. Just go straight down.
Well, one of those is way more dangerous than the other. If you dig, you're only going to get so far before you get tired and go home for dinner. You try to swim to the bottom of this damn thing, and you're going to have these children drowning all over the place, and their swollen bodies are on your hands.
Well, do you know what happens if you dig long enough, Drea?
Oh, no, you get tired.
You get water. So no matter what, you're dealing with a sea creature if you dig. That's all I'm trying to say. Eventually, there's water coming for you from both directions, no matter which way you go. Is all I'm trying to say.
So there's no way to be safe from lake monsters. If you dig your own lake, you're fucked.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you're gonna get a Dorku or one of these guys in your yard. This Bear Lake, though, Bear Lake is a very ancient lake. It is over 250,000 years old, and they refer to it in Utah as the Caribbean of the Rockies because it has this weird.
Nobody says that. Nobody calls it that.
No, it does. It is known as that. It has a turquoise blue color. It is a very deep lake and is perfect for hiding a monster.
Cool.
And another example of its ferocious nature. Remember, I guess I failed the first one, which I think is really scary, but another example of this thing's ferocious nature. It comes from a 1907 letter published in a Logan, Utah newspaper claiming that two men had seen the Bear Lake behemoth attack their camp and kill one of their horses. This thing's a horse killer.
Oh, no.
Wow. Damn. I mean...
These things are killers. These lake monsters are monsters. They're actually killing things. They're not just taking blurry pictures.
It reminds me of like Lake Placid. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Like the kind of scene with Jurassic Park and stuff, and then Lake Placid where you just kind of set something with poor little innocent animal and then wait till it gets snatched up by something like... Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Aaron.
Russ, man, I just...
I don't fool with no horses, boy.
No horses, boy. That thing's killing horses? That's pretty bad.
This thing does. And some people believe that the initial reports of the creature by a man named Joseph Rich, he's the first one who wrote a letter. People think that was actually possibly a hoax, that he was just trying to do a great trick on people. But regardless of the hoax, the sightings, they continued for many, many years after. And again, to prove that this is indeed a fearsome lake monster worthy of battling a giant otter king, the water demon was featured on the scariest of all found footage paranormal shows, Lost Tapes. Nothing says terrifying more than a lost tape, yes?
Oh my God. I get instantly terrified when you tell me that I have to watch Lost Tapes for homework.
That's why you terrified.
Get scared. I love the COA at the top that said dangerous footage. It's like a COA that's going to be so scary.
Yeah.
This
it has to
may kill you.
16 plus for sure to watch this. And this Lost Tape, this tells the story of a young woman named Erica Jameson who celebrated her 22nd birthday by camping at Bear Lake with 3 of her hottest friends and a video camera. But take it away, Lost Tapes guy.
What began for these friends as a weekend to celebrate life quickly turned into a terrifying evening mired in death. These are their tapes.
Oh, spoilers, man! They haven't even started. All right, I guess someone is on the table to die at the hands of this great lake monster.
I hope it's all of them.
Just
is that too mean?
Why?
Why do I hope it's all of them? Because they just seem like really, I don't know, they just seem super fake and I don't know, I guess it just bugged me.
Drea, this could be you and a couple of your girlfriends out just trying to have a good weekend. Like, put yourself in their shoes. 22nd
birthday, I would totally be at a bar instead of going to a lake with a bottle of wine.
If you live in the middle of Utah, there's not a proper bar for a 22nd birthday for a girl and her hot friends.
They watered down all the alcohol, it's true.
They did have a lot of wine. And this episode was a real treat because we get a great description of the creature from the actual Lauren Coleman of Lauren Coleman's Lauren Coleman, cryptozoologist champion.
The Bear Lake monster is a typical lake monster, large. It's huge.
The initial sightings that were conveyed was of a beast that was brown in color, looked like a walrus without tusks, or an alligator, had a lot of teeth.
Oh, God.
And it could have been up to 40 feet long.
In terms of the description, part of the thing that always comes out is that it's swimming very fast towards the individuals who are seeing it. Over and over again, we hear about it being very aggressive, keeping humans out, keeping other animals out. The personal theory that I have is that it may actually be a holdover from the Ice Ages.
Thank you, Laura Coleman. See, it's fast, it's large, it's aggressive, the wetness, all that combined.
Monster.
What about the wetness?
But what about the wetness?
What about the wetness? Play soundboard 4, because these creatures are almost evenly matched because of this.
Large. It's huge.
It's huge. And play soundboard 2. We remember the other lady said, or soundboard 1.
Dohbar-Chu.
Oh, soundboard 2. I'm sorry.
This guy was huge.
It's starting to line up.
These
This guy's
huge, man.
It's a huge matchup. When lake monsters get together, it is a huge matchup. It is a Kong versus Godzilla vibe.
The way we're hyping it up, it is like Kong versus Godzilla. I'm imagining them both like Titan-sized, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to for this. You got to use your imagination a little, guys. Come on, work with us here.
So it looks like a walrus or an alligator.
Yes, I'm so glad you reminded me. That is the most vague description of an animal. It looks like a walrus or an alligator. Do those fucking animals look anything alike each other?
No, not at all.
Well, they're both huge.
The other thing was a furry alligator, so it's just like two weird-looking alligators going at it. They're perfect to fight each other.
Or
My
a
brain
walrus.
is so confused.
Or a walrus fighting an otter. Also, it could kind of look like. I don't know what this is a weird one.
This is getting good.
It's getting good.
The other one might have teeth.
Right.
There might be some.
And this one doesn't have tusks. We know that.
Absolutely no.
So
Lots of teeth.
there's a lot of distinctions here. I'm glad we're clarifying these things.
It's got lots of teeth, but they're all molars.
Yeah, so if you're breaking this down on your chart at home, keeping track, this one, no tusks, probably teeth. I mean, we don't know about the teeth, actually. We haven't heard anything
I want
about
to see
teeth.
some artist renditions of these so far. Just if you were a police officer trying to do a sketch of like a suspect, and you're being given these details,
yes.
I want to see what that would look
that's another great image in my mind now of a walrus.
That's why the first guy was so great with Dohbar-Chu. He saw it, and he was an artist. He drew an amazing thing, and Aaron still thinks the thing look cute. I'm like, all right, come on.
Sounds
Aaron,
cute. It sounds cute as
Aaron,
hell.
if you are not convinced of the ferocity of this creature, here is another bear lake monster fact.
The most fearsome aspects of the Bear Lake Monster were the fact that it would slowly move into shallow water along the shoreline, and individuals really wouldn't know it was there. And then all of a sudden, there'd be a giant splash, and this creature would jump up on shore and drag the poor individual or animal back into the lake. At this point in time, the monster would crunch and drown the particular item that it had in its mouth, and then let go, and as it floated lifelessly towards the bottom, it would pick it up and swallow it.
He really knows a lot about this, very into the details of how this thing kills.
Yeah, the particular item, as if it's not talking about eating a fucking human.
Yeah.
Well, or a horse.
I like how he said it would crunch them. It'll crunch or drown
horse.
them. Like, don't get crunched by the monster.
It reminds me of I don't know if you guys have ever seen like the stories of like this happening in the Amazon too, where it ended up being, I think, like catfish or like sturgeon or just a really big fish that comes and sneaks up on little kids when they're playing in the water and just like sucks the whole little kid up.
Oh my
You're
God.
gonna have to catch me up. A fish? What are we talking? What's that again?
A fish, right? Which is something large under the water. Thank you.
All right, that
Thank
thing.
you,
Got it.
Thanks,
Got
Zach.
it.
Yeah.
But back to the lost tape. Sorry, distracted you from that, Drea. Apology. We got to get back to the actual lost tape and the hotties. Erica's birthday bash at the lake. It starts out really instantly enough. The girls, they sit around drinking wine, eating marshmallows in their bikinis, and then they do what most girls do.
As
They
girls do.
They start playing keep away with one of the girls' cell phones. Typical girl stuff, right, Drea?
Totally. We love to take people's things from them, and then it's a very girly thing to play.
I love how hard and overhand they toss her cell phone into the water.
I want to say, unfortunately, these girls, they are not great at playing keep away, and one of the girls, just as Aaron said, she just wildly overthrows his phone, and it lands way into Bear Lake. So the girls, they start to search in the lake for this overthrown phone camera, when one of the friends named Rose, she dives under to look, and the other ladies, they get worried.
Rose, it's okay.
Rose, come on.
Something's not right.
Rose? Rose! Rose?
Rose, that's enough. Come up. Oh my God, Rose. All right, Rose.
Awesome.
Champion. All right, Rose, can I have my phone back now? Please?
It's actually really nice out here.
The phone's still working?
It is totally still working, completely. Recording everything.
Nice.
Just be careful with it, Rose, all right? We don't want to lose it again.
All right, Rose did it. Rose found the phone. It still works. Man, it's a very durable phone camera for the time. This is not shitty
kidding.
at all.
2008, right? They said it was. That was, oh my God. That's another thing that just constantly bugs me about found footage movies in general is the exposition.
Also, what kind of phone from 2008 was totally waterproof?
Yeah,
and video, great video. Video looked great. And I need you to play Soundboard 5. Maybe we can use this whenever someone wins poll results or a game. I think this would be perfect.
Champion!
Champion! Yeah, girl!
Champion, ladies.
Oh, it's so perfect. I was so happy when I heard that. I was like, we have a champion clip now.
Why are they celebrating? Like, I don't understand. First off, why was no phones allowed on the trip? This was like
girl time.
Just serenity.
She's
no phones. You're not allowed to talk on the phone at all. So
no, if it was a typical girl gathering, they want all the phones out because they want all the pictures. Look, cell phones were pretty still, fresh technology at the time, and getting selfies was what you'd want to be doing at that point. I don't think 2008 was the year where people were thinking like, oh my God, put your phone down. We need quality
selfies
time.
are one thing. I think wandering off to talk to an ex or something look, this girl whose birthday it is, she is very about it being her birthday. And she wants all attention on her. So that's why they have to, basically shame this girl, throw her phone in the lake on accident.
I mean, if you didn't Instagram it, did it even happen though? So like,
exactly,
she's got to use her phone. Come on. These
yeah,
guys need
play
to stop
Soundboard
being
5.
so crazy.
When she posts that great pic of all these hot girls together, the internet would just say, Champion, girl.
Woo. Go, Rose.
But after the great champion moment, the fun would end that evening when Rose, the friend who found the phone, the champion herself, Rose, she just can't stay out of the water. She was in there. She's got a taste for it. She's very comfortable. And then while she's sitting in there at night and all the friends are on the shore, she disappears under the surface again while screaming. And then one of the friends, Janet, she dives in to help. And then this happens.
Janet's behind you, Janet! Janet, move! Janet's behind you! Going back to shore! Janet! Did you see that? Should we go in? We're not going back in there. Are you kidding me? Just leave them out there! Back in that water, did you see that? Janet! We're not in there. We can't just leave them out there.
Yeah, you can. The other girls are not being very helpful. They completely give up on Rose and Shannon. It's like, no way we're going in there. We've lost 2 of us. That's enough.
Guys, imagine if this had been the first found footage film.
It would have been
Blair
great.
Witch. This was the first one. This is real.
No, this is this show is every single episode wants to be the Blair Witch Project, but it doesn't even come close at all. The weird thing about this show is that it's like reenactments of stuff that never happened, which is it feels really weird.
But it's interspersed with Lauren Coleman of Lauren Coleman's actual Lauren Coleman coming in and telling you the history.
That part
that's
is
the most incredible part.
That's what makes it watchable. Is the fact that they splice those clips in there. But the reenactment parts are they are.
And it helps.
Rough.
It helps for what we are trying to do, which is to show how threatening this creature possibly could be if it exists. And this is the only way to convey that is to have these really hot girls all out there, and you don't want to lose any of them, but you're losing a couple at a time. So let's get into the tape.
Screaming, I was happy for them to be lost. Like I just wanted to rip these headphones off.
The shrieking.
Please let it end.
Gone from the highs to the lows. That girl was a champion who got the phone back. It didn't even break. It was the best made phone ever. Survived in a lake. And but now she's gone. And the birthday girl's still around, and the surviving friends who were with her, the other 2, they retreat to the car to make their getaway. But when you know it, the keys are back at the campsite. That part was very cliche movie. And now the creature is able to walk on land, and he is attracted to the lights in the car, and he attacks their vehicle. It gets really chaotic and incomprehensible. But I did like this line from Laura during all the chaos.
Get in the back! Get in the back! I'm not dying on my birthday. I'm not dying on my birthday.
This chick is still just worried about her birthday being ruined, not her dead friends, not even her life. She's like, oh no, my birthday is not going down like this. No.
Happy Death Day. Wasn't that a movie?
Oh, I am not dying on my birthday. That's one of my favorite quotes I think I've ever heard anybody say on the show. Yeah. That's
I am not going to have a weird-looking alligator otter on my grave on my birthday. Never.
Worst birthday ever.
Look, she set it up herself. Like, you go to a lake, you go somewhere secluded, and you even said, luckily, somebody did bring their cell phone, and somehow it survived all the wreckage. You say no cell phones, everybody. You're setting yourself up for a horror movie, so that's what you get.
That's what they got. And you hear it just turns into complete chaos. I had to play the "It's my birthday still alive." It's like, okay, we know. Like, that's not the issue here right now. This is life or death.
Damn, Erica.
Well, once this chaos subsides, here is the final body count.
Miraculously, Erica Jameson was able to survive the attack. Mary Ellen Stewart was not as lucky. After hearing their story, authorities returned to the scene. They located the abandoned vehicle where the girls had left it, but Mary Ellen's body was nowhere to be found. Though the lake was dragged, the bodies of Rose Peters and Jan Hollis were never recovered, and their deaths remain a mystery.
3 ladies dead, but at least the main girl, she didn't have to die on her birthday. So a little bit of a silver lining.
Thank God.
That was her
Bear
birthday
Lake
present.
Monster recognizes the rule: you can't kill someone on their birthday. That's cryptozoology.
Yeah.
He was the special girl, and he puts immunity on her and kills the other ones.
I'm gonna ruin her birthday, but I'm not gonna kill her.
Yeah.
They have to put in, they drag the entire lake. It's like, we know how old and deep this lake is. There's no way this thing goes all the way to Scotland. You're telling me that there's probably some weird body showing up in Scotland. They don't know. Ask the children's author Kelly Steele.
Every time they say something on the show, in my mind, I just like, there's a voice that's just like, no, you didn't. Like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Every time that they say something, it's like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I love
it. Maybe Lost Tapes is not the best. This is just to, show the possibility of how scary this is. But the Bear Lake Monster, or the water demon, is a very dangerous creature to pursue. And luckily, one man is brave enough in the real world. This isn't fake, okay, Rob? There's one man, he is brave enough to enter this demon-infested lake in the dead of night. Paranormal hunter and son of heavy metal legend Ozzy, Jack Osbourne. He has been there. In the premiere episode of the program Haunted Highways, he went in search of this dangerous animal. And why is the first episode of Haunted Highways about a lake monster? We don't know. Just go with it. Haunted Lake Highway once. Jack Osbourne, he is in full monster hunter mode in this, going so far as to don scuba gear and dive into the waters of Bear Lake looking for underwater caves that may be home to the water demon.
I think I found the caves. This is it. If the Bear Lake beast is real, it could nest here. Radio reception might not work. Be careful. Nothing unusual so far.
Jack, are you by the boat?
I'm nowhere near the boat.
There's a pretty large figure on the sonar. I'm gonna do a thermal scan of the lake. I think I just saw something. I think I just saw something break the surface.
I'm on my way back to the boat.
Hurry, Jack.
I see something.
What? It's been 10 minutes now. Still haven't heard from him. I'm getting really, really worried. Thank freaking God. You are not going to believe what I got on the thermal.
We've got to send this to Bryce as soon as we get back to land. Hopefully we can see what we got in the morning.
And it was hard to hear him, but he found a bone. I know I tease Jack Osbourne occasionally on this show, but he really is out there doing the work in the paranormal field. He had scuba gear on. You could tell by the British accent. It was him. He was down there in Bear Lake.
Yeah, honestly, I am a fan of Jack Osbourne. Like, his shows they're less annoying than Zach Bagans' shows. Like, he's not as just like huge and what's the word I'm looking like?
Not yet.
Like, sensational.
He's not as theatrical.
Not yet.
Not as theatrical as Zach
He's not
Bagans
as
is.
dramatic. Yeah.
He's
doing hard-hitting journalism, you guys.
I think he looks up to Zach Baggins, probably. He seems like he kind of wants to be Zach. Like, he really wants to be involved in the paranormal world.
I'll say he's a better presented version of him, though, because
they can bring him on to Ghost Adventures.
He's just more likable.
That'd
I feel
be
like
cool. I'd watch that.
Part of it is like we kind of grew up with this kid. Everybody like watched the Osbournes when they were younger, or at least saw some of those episodes. Man. You didn't see any, never watched any of the Osbournes when you were a kid?
I mean, maybe like an episode, but
I
wouldn't say
it was
followed his career.
I mean, I didn't follow his career. I wasn't like I didn't have any posters of Jack Osbourne up in my bedroom or anything.
I think
but
you did.
I thought he was funny. I thought it was fun to see the kid
like
grow
I
up.
said, I'm a fan of him.
When I saw him pop up in the paranormal world, I remember being like, interesting.
This was his first foray into that. This was from like 2013. This is Haunted Highways or Haunted Waterways. I don't know why they chose a water thing for the first one. I mean, also his show, it could be faker than Lost Tapes for all we know, but it's the way it's presented. Maybe they're tricking us, but he actually went and scuba dived into this Bear Lake. He's looking for caves that this thing's hiding in. And Jack's investigation, like I said, he found a mysterious bone in one of these underwater caves, and his partner on the boat found a large sonar reading that was coming from underneath the boat. Let's hear the final verdict from Jack Osbourne. What conclusion did his researcher Bryce come to?
He said it could have been some type of thermal spring at the bottom of the lake releasing warm water. There are thermal springs under the lake, supposedly.
And what about the bone you found?
Well, the bone is really quite interesting. Bryce suggested that it was either a cow or a deer bone. He says there's one of two ways that it could have ended up in that cave. The first being an animal tried to swim across the lake and it drowned and flowed to the bottom of the lake, body decomposed, the current moved the bones around, and one ended up in that cave at the bottom of the lake. The second being the most intriguing, which is some kind of creature took the animal from the shore and dragged it down into this cave, much like a crocodile would do. This was my first time investigating a lake cryptid, and I must say I was not disappointed. Is the Bear Lake monster real? I can't say no. But is there definitely something strange going on in Bear Lake? I think I'm going to have to say yes.
Yeah, that thing snatched a cow. I'm on board. It got a cow or a deer. It pulled it down there, and Jack Osbourne's getting to the bottom of it.
Yeah, see, and that the way he delivered it, that's what I'm talking about, where I appreciate it, where it's like, we can't say that there's not something down here in this lake. He's like, I gotta say there's something going on.
This is Park Lace Monsters, his first taste of the water, right? He's getting his sea legs.
No, it's a good thing. It's like, I like that it's just a very kind of normal, casual delivery. He's not all dramatic and hyped up.
Well, you know why I think he found it there? I'm pretty sure it's because he was
in the bone zone.
He was in the bone zone.
He got to the bone zone. He found it.
All right, there's a bone zone in Utah. Good.
Yeah, great pull there. All right, so I gotta ask you, Aaron, what are your thoughts on this water demon of Bear Lake? You think this is a tough monster to go up against?
I am all here for this one. I actually want to go to Bear Lake, Utah now and check it out myself.
All right.
We should.
I've presented the case for both sides of this, both sides of these lake-dwelling horrors. I can ask you, Drea, who's got the advantage in this fight? You talk about the Dohbar-Chu or the Bear Lake water demon. Think of them going together. How do you picture this going down?
Well, this guy's definitely seems to have the stealth aspect, like the other guy just goes straight up and starts like gnawing on someone's head. And this one, you get crunched before you even realize what's happening.
And this thing's fast, too, like a locomotive, they said. He's like Superman speed coming at you. But he is just an otter, I feel, has like hands he can use a little bit more. This thing has just like weird flippers. He might be able to strangle him. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Rob? How's this fight going down?
Well, the one ate a horse. So if it ate a horse, it could probably eat a really big otter. So I'm thinking that the Bear Lake monster is the water devil has this one over the giant otter creature from Ireland. I'm sorry.
I don't know. The Dohbar-Chu killed that lady. He's on her grave. He's got a cross. He's a king. He's a literal mythical king tulpa monster. He probably has powers we don't even know about.
Those are old powers. They don't carry on anymore. Kingdoms don't exist anymore. Like, really?
I don't know, man. I just don't know. The Bear Lake monster is ferocious. This thing is not something you fuck with. So,
do you think any tombstones up there in Utah have the Bear Lake monster on it?
Probably a horse grave for sure. There's a couple of horse graves that have it. Maybe a cow would now. So I want to hear your take. How do you think this is going to go down, Aaron? These two going head to head.
Oh, Bear Lake monster takes the fight I mean, we know that it's got a body count higher than the Dohbar-Chu or whatever it is.
Good pronunciation.
Or Dorku, right?
Dorku.
Dohbar-Chu also is cool too.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's great to hear that. And I think I'm pulling for Dorku in this. I think Dorku has the power. He's got the mythical behind him. He's possibly a Tulpa. He's got an Irish Omi Island where you get stuck on there. It's a tidal island, very creepy. Bear Lake, Utah. I don't know. But also, wait, that thing can go transport to Scotland. So he could probably get to Ireland. If he can get there, he can maybe this fight might actually happen. This could happen. but this is not up to us who wins this. The listeners, you guys will have your say. Just go to unbelieverspodcast.com to vote in this week's poll. Who would win the lake monster, mash, and bass? Bash, bass, whatever. Fish on the brain. There's too much water stuff going on.
You're feeling fishy right now.
Is it the old Dorku, the Dohbar-Chu, or is it the water demon from Bear Lake? Be sure to vote and let us know. And now, time to abandon ship.
Lake monsters of the USA.
And Ireland.
From Cape Cod to
I get so worked up when I'm trying to pit these monsters against each other. Oh, so that was a lot of fun. I hope we get a lot of votes in there. I'm anxious to hear what the unbelievers think. How this goes down. This is much different from the Winged Weirdies.
Yeah, there are fewer variables. I think the Winged Weirdies had a lot more kind of... They had better descriptions, and they had other aspects to them. These things are both so much in the water that there's fewer instances reported, so we're just guessing what these things look like.
Huge.
It limits it. When you're fighting in the water, there's not as much you can do. You can't fly or throw trees on each other or stop a car from working. But they have some different powers. They both are kind of alligators, almost. It's just like two alligators getting pissed at each other.
I will say this episode made me want to go to Ireland more than ever. I already did kind of want to go to Ireland, but now I really want to go to Ireland because it just seems like there's so much magical shit there.
Very magical.
There's they got fairies going on over there. They got these lake monsters. They got leprechauns. They got all this crazy shit that we don't have over here.
Still hung up on the
United States.
leprechauns.
Yeah, come
Maybe
on.
you have to do a leprechaun episode.
There you
just
go.
For Rob.
There you go. There you go.
And
One of these
Rob,
days.
you guys get a Nobel Prize if you just go into a body of water. If
Get
the thing
chewed
bites you
on.
on the head, you just go out and take a picture, and you've discovered Dorku.
You're gonna have so much glory and fame thrust in your face.
That would be cool. Imagine if I just went there and then you'd last thing
You
you ever
actually
heard
did
from was
it?
I went looking for the beast, and then you're like, we never heard from Rob again. I became a story that we
That
would talk
next
about on
guy?
the show.
Yeah.
There'll be lost tapes about me.
I don't even know what would
No, I
don't. At that
Hold
point.
on. There's a lot I would say about a lot of people, but I don't want to ever see anyone, friend or enemy, on a lost tape. So I know where that's going. They'll tell me in the beginning, the person you're about to watch is going to die in the next 15 minutes. Stay tuned. It's like,
in the
okay,
name.
yeah.
It's in the name. These tapes got lost somehow, so somebody
For a
got
reason.
fucked up
They
by
should be
something.
called sound tapes.
Just go on your
Right.
birthday. There's some rule against dying on your birthday. It's very
That's
offensive to
That's
if your
true.
friends die on your birthday. That's just your own luck. That's your birthday present from them. Their life. But let's go into a different segment now. 5-star reviews. Five-star reviews is a segment of the program where we read 5-star reviews from the Apple Podcast. Well, actually, we don't read them. Rob's robot friend Samantha. Samantha, are you in the house?
Hey there, non-aquatic apes.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
hello.
the nicest thing she's ever said to us.
I don't think I've introduced before, but Aaron, Samantha, Aaron. You get
Hello,
yourselves acquainted
Samantha.
with each other.
Hi there, Mr. Schilb.
Hello, Samantha. It's a
she's
pleasure
so-
to meet you.
She's never been that courteous to us, Mr. Schilb.
Let's be
Okay.
yeah,
I know I'm fancy,
She's
bitch.
treating him with respect.
I mean, you guys aren't gonna ask her how she's doing.
Because I don't care.
I
what
am
she's
wondering,
doing.
Samantha, how have you been? It's been so long since you've been on. What's going on with you?
I'm fantastic.
That's
See,
great
that's
to
why
hear.
that's why we don't ask.
Short, sweet, to the point.
It sounds so veiledly, I don't know, sinister. I don't think so.
Because it's like
What's
sarcastic.
Rob?
She's like, I'm doing great.
Sounds
I'm
like she's mad at us
fantastic.
now because you didn't ask her before. So I might as well just get right into this.
Sure.
She does definitely mirror the characteristics of her creator and owner and friend Rob. Always a little bit of sinister
Rob rubs off
and
on
the
people.
underbelly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So let's get into we got some 5-star reviews. We haven't done this in a while. If you want to hear Samantha read some great passive aggressive 5-star reviews for you, go to Apple Podcasts and do that. But you got something for us? Let's hear the first one.
Sure. I think the first one is from Mungnr, Mungnr. Samantha, take it away.
I stumbled across the Unbelievers podcast a little over a year ago while looking for something new to listen to. I was tired of the political BS podcasts and this show totally fits the bill. My introduction began with the Pascagoula abduction episode 36, and I was hooked. It only took a couple of shows to get up to speed with the format and nuances jargon, so picking it up midway through season 1 was not a problem, and I binged the old episodes during the break between season 1 and season 2. Rus, Drea, and Rob, and sometimes Jude, are excellent, entertaining hosts who provide the perfect mix of examination and humor to some of the most interesting and outlandish paranormal topics. I am amazed how they keep finding shows and topics to discuss. If you want to be entertained and forget about what is happening in this crazy world, give this show a listen. I guarantee you'll keep coming back every week to continue to learn to unlearn everything you knew. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What was
You'll
that,
definitely
Samantha?
be haunting me. That was very nice. Thank you so much for that great review. Yeah,
amazingly
they
nice.
jumped on. They jumped on with the Pascagoula episode, and I would understand, someone new jumping on the show, getting through like they said, the jargon, the references, the clips. It takes a little while. We are based on a show that went on for almost 7 years. We're just continuing a legacy, so it is hard to break through some of that. I think after a while you kind of figure it out. And yeah, thanks so much for that. And that makes us feel really good. We do like to be that distraction. We're definitely not focused in the real world, nor have we ever been or will be.
It's therapy for us too. Yeah, like it's a good way for us to escape the craziness out there. So yeah, appreciate that people can also appreciate that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
We need to think about
Hell
lake
yeah.
monsters going through giant holes in the earth to fight each other. That's more important. Whatever else is going on. Do you have any more, Rob?
Yeah, we actually have 2 more. This next one is from our buddy, I believe, on Apple Podcasts here. It says Nick Air. So I'm thinking this is our buddy Nicholas Aristavi.
Certainly.
Let's see what Nicholas Aristavi has to say. Take it away, Samantha.
SOS sign. Red exclamation mark and question mark. Picture in a frame. Bell. Alarm clock. Plane taking off. Woman weightlifting. Car. Thong sandal. Downwards pointing arrow. Sheep. Face screaming in fear. Speaking silhouette head. Sorceress with a staff. Non-binary sorcerer with a staff. White cane. Peanuts. Chestnut. Jeans. Ghost. Eggplant. Water
I
droplets.
get some of these.
Smiling face with sunglasses. Water droplets. Water droplet. Wave.
Wet pizza?
Blueberries. Speaker outputting high volume.
Huckleberries?
Person surfing. Caterpillar.
Okay, the
It feels
caterpillar
like the
lost
beginning
me.
of the Winter Soldier getting ready to get kicked
I know,
on.
I feel like I just got activated. I love that it said non-binary magician. That was
That
fantastic.
was amazing.
That was a sorcerer, a non-binary sorcerer,
Non-binary
which I guess
sorcerer. That was fantastic.
maybe
that
is
they included them.
maybe should be the mascot of the show. Is a everyone can be a sorcerer.
Yeah,
you don't have to be
dude,
bound
they do
to any
so much
belief.
sorcery.
You can do whatever sorcerer you want, pull whatever you want. Thank you, Nicholas Aristavi. Nicholas Aristavi.
Pack a bowl of sorcery right now.
Oh,
Great supporter. Just came on this year. Kind of was an old school believer. Came on. He's one of the people who realized when we hit 100 episodes, I guess this might be a real show. Which I was surprised that happened when we hit 100 episodes. That a little bit of extra attention you get, but. Thanks so much, and thanks for that great old school, bringing the emojis in, things we've never heard, because these emojis are getting changed all the time.
teardrop.
I love hearing...
Teardrop. Sheep.
Oh.
Sheep.
I wasn't sure what was going on with that, but when I hear water drop emoji, that's
Water
just,
droplet
yeah, everything's
emoji.
getting wet, and I think that's always a good thing. What about the
feel like-
wetness?
At least 40% of the things we talk about, something is getting wet, especially in the last few weeks. Mermaids and water monsters, La Llorona, the wet pizza people, all that.
Yes, pizza.
Thank you for that, Nicholas Aristavi. Rob, you said you got what? Rob, I'm sorry, not Rob. Samantha, you have one more for us.
Yes, I think
Let's
she
hear it,
has.
please.
She's got one more from someone named Apathetic Abernathy, and they said, "Great show." Let's check it out here. Take it away, Samantha.
Great show. Give a listen if you like paranormal, cryptozoological, otherworldly, 4T and content by funny hosts. Come for the creatures. Stay for the sound clips.
There you go.
All right, I'll take
You heard
it.
them.
Yeah,
Come
stay
for the creatures.
Stay for the sound clip, stay for the robot, stay for Aaron coming on, which I'm always happy to have you on, man. You've done so much great music for the show and stuff. Just having you here, it's always like you're like the king of the otters to me. You're a bit of a royalty to me.
Wow, that's quite the thing. I feel like a champion now.
The true king of the otters.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah, Samantha is quick to join in the praise. I mean, you're lucky. At least Samantha's nice to you.
And she's great. I want to hear more from her. So please, not even to give us, a little bit more exposure and to bump up our numbers, but just to hear Samantha come back and have a lot of fun with us. Go leave some 5-star reviews for us. And go leave some 5-star reviews for Aaron's show, Nashville Tour Stop, too. But that's it for 5-star reviews.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Samantha.
Bye, y'all is something I would say.
Thank you, Tyler Ogilvie. All right, I'll see you next week. We might do the segment next week. Just come back.
We need more 5-star reviews to do the segment again.
Reviews,
so
really.
leave us some 5-star reviews and we'll be able to do the segment again. Please.
Yeah, and I honestly forget about this segment. When I heard that music, I completely forgot. I honestly thought Aaron had done one of the drops, 4 or 5-star. No, I was like, oh, no. This is the French horn professor Tyler Ogilvie version.
Right.
Tyler Ogilvie, still out there somewhere. He's really the only person besides you, Aaron, that had a drop on there. But we have time for one more segment, and it's everyone's third favorite segment. What is it, Aaron?
Poll results.
This week's poll, what are mermaids? And the choices were aquatic apes, myths of folklore, manatee/seals, or other. I'm going to ask you, Drea Mora, what do you think the unbelievers said?
I have a feeling they're going to have said aquatic apes.
Aquatic apes. What about you, Aaron? Aquatic apes, myths of folklore, or manatees/seals?
Myths of folklore.
All right. How about you, Rob?
Just because of how thick they are, I'm saying it's manatees probably because they said that they're real thick.
All right. Well, congratulations, Aaron and Rob, with tied for 7.69% of the vote. Manatee seal /myths of folklore, 0 votes for aquatic apes. No one's buying aquatic apes.
Damn.
Sorry, Drea.
Good. You know what? Good, because those were ugly.
But of course, there are others. What are mermaids? Fish friends with benefits. Signed, Trash Baby. Yes, Trash Baby. Fish friends with benefits. What are mermaids? That SOS PP Warren. Signed, Sticky Plate Guy. Wait, PP Warren is mermaids? What are you talking about, Sticky Plate Guy? What are mermaids? Ugly motherfuckers and shit.
True.
Signed, Harley Warren. Okay, Harley Warren. At least we got a sound clip in there.
Half human, half like fucking ugly motherfuckers. It's like
and shit.
If you watch that show and saw that video on Instagram, yes, that is pretty accurate. Thank you, Harley Warren. What are mermaids? Mermaids have me bustin'. Signed, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks coming back in.
All right.
Thank you, Tom Hanks. Man,
busting.
I think he actually got them all in. I didn't realize you could fit that much in our poll. Thank you, Tom Hanks.
You can fit a lot in that poll, yeah.
What are mermaids? I sat upon a promontory and heard a mermaid on a dolphin's back, uttering such dulcet and harmonious breath. Signed, Billy Shakespeare. Thank you,
Was that a
Billy
Shakespearean
Shakespeare. Bringing it back, getting a little more literate on here. Thank you, Billy Shakespeare.
I like the dedication to the bit.
I do love the dedication.
Billy.
What are mermaids? Bloops? Blowholes? Melons? What is this? Some kind of mer porn? Signed Triad Emergency. I think we have a couple of new sound clips for this, don't we? We have something bloops. Oh, this is the actual bloop, not someone saying it. All right.
It does sound pretty sexy, though.
That had made the bloop.
There we go. And what about blowholes? That was the secret one.
It wasn't a blowhole.
Thank you, Triad Emergency. What are mermaids? Is that a hole? Better stick my finger in it. Signed, longtime boner, first time yogurt. All right, referencing that. Well, there is stuff for that.
And I'm saying, is that a head?
Is that a hole?
No, it's a hole. So you better stick your fingers in it. Thank you. Thank you, long time boner, first time yogurt. What are mermaids? An old salty Swedish sea dog. Oh, you didn't sign off. That was
come
pretty
on.
good, though.
Sign off, man.
Tragedy.
So much room. That guy wrote busted like 30 times. You can fit a name. Trust me. What are mermaids? I had something prepared for the top half, bottom half question. Suck it up! Something big under the water. Sign the Wombat Preservationists. Yeah, we didn't use would you want the top half, bottom half, but we'll still give you the...
Suck it up, you son of a bitch, Trapper! Suck it up!
And there's that thing we couldn't figure out what it was. What is it?
A fish. Right. Which is something large under the water. Exactly.
That was it. Thank you, Wombat Preservationist. What are mermaids? Grab your big boy pants and credit card. Then come find me at the docks and check out my melon. I'll give you a pearl necklace. Signed, The Machinist. Oh, right. Bringing it back to the Queen Mary with, make sure you...
Bring your big boy pants and your credit card.
Because you're going to get a pearl necklace and your
that
melon.
Sounds valuable.
Thank you so much, Machinist. What are mermaids? Mermaids, like the sirens, are aliens. They're Crescent's friends, and they have bowls ready for seamen to ejaculate into.
Nice.
Signed, Blue Box UFO. Oh no, bringing it back to bowl results.
We went to this room. There was this bowl on this table, and I was supposed to ejaculate into the bowl.
Into the bowl.
It's come back to normal levels of bowl comments. Thank you so much, Blue Box UFO. What are mermaids? Oh, you can't see them from satellites, so they're just another breed of jellyfish. But they taste like fish. Signed, Mothman Mother. Good one, Mothman Mother. Where can't you see them from?
Jellyfish. We cannot see the jellyfish from satellites. So...
They taste like something.
What are they supposed to taste like?
It tastes like fish.
There it is. Thank you, Mothman Mother. What are mermaids? If I bloop to the Little Mermaid, I get in trouble. If I bloop to Aquaman, my wife joins in. Signed, K-Mill. Oh, K-Mill. K-Mill. You naughty man. Thank you, K-Mill. Do we have a bloop thing? We got something bloop for him.
I'll bloop him. Here you go.
This was the animal that had made the bloop.
That's the bloop group, all right. Thank you, Rob.
Animal. He is an animal.
Thank you, K-Mill. What are mermaids? Forget mermaids. If she's not half magical purple woman, half octopus, I didn't even need to know her name. Signed, Marco de Beast. I think Marco de Beast, he's talking about, what's her name? Ursula? Is it Ursula?
Oh,
the Little Mermaid?
the sea witch.
Magical
half
purple
human,
woman.
half animal hybrids.
Wow. All right. There you go. David Willycock popping in for Marco de Beast. Thank you, Marco de Beast. What are mermaids? Why do mermaids wear seashells? Because B shells are too small and D shells are too big. Signed, Hose B. That's a good point, Hose B.
That kind of makes sense. God damn.
That is pretty good, Hose B. Good stuff.
That is the most sense we've heard of all mermaid
I like
stuff.
A good shell bra joke. You know I wanted to hear about shell bras. He brought up shell bras again.
Rob, but you chose the right joke to be a fan of.
You hit the
Shell
spot.
bra jokes are rarer than mermaids themselves. Great job, Hose B. What are mermaids? They're pieces of poop that become sentient. Signed, Fruit Diet Buccaneer. I have no idea what you have for this.
Oh shit. This is me. I'm wiggling my fingers. Oh shit.
Great job.
Oh my God.
Fruit Diet Buccaneer for triggering that response. What are mermaids? Ask Tom Hanks. He hooked up with one. I mean, what happened? Can there be floating lanterns under the sea? Yeah, you know it. Signed who, Drea? Who's that?
That's Unbeliever
Carol. That's a Carol. It's 100% a Carol. Tom Hanks getting a lot of love for Splash. Let's hear it.
That's a floating lantern. You're not getting away from me.
You gotta run underwater after.
Yeah, but he hooked up with the mermaid, and Carol's all like,
What happened? I don't know.
she don't know. Thank you, Unbeliever Carol. Amazing as always. What are mermaids? OG Wops. Signed Ethel Merman. Ethel Merman.
Oh my God, that was good on so many levels.
That is so simple and to the point. Great one, Ethel Merman. What are mermaids? In Russ's best Tom Waits impression, they're in water, honey. I'm the $1 Million Hobo. Signed Pants Filler. Thank you, Pants Filler. I gotta work on my Tom Waits. They're in water, honey.
Well, very close to.
This sounds exactly like him, actually. I'm kind of impressed.
All right. Well, thank you to the guy who's always
Be throwing up and filling my pants.
And we've got a couple more. What are mermaids? My ex-girlfriend was a mermaid. When she left, she put rocks in her pockets and dived into the ocean. Signed, Voodooed. Oh, Voodooed. That's not
sad.
They're really dark and weird. Okay.
That's pretty dark.
Sorry for your loss, Voodooed. And finally, for this evening, what are mermaids? They're freaking sexy. That's what they are. Signed, Susie Cream Cheese.
Ooh,
and
Susie.
Yes,
What's up, Susie?
Final one for this
From
evening.
the old days.
Susie's always around. Thank you so much, everyone. Man, this is going to be one of the hardest ones of this year.
Seriously.
I don't even know. So I got to go
Hardest.
through it, and you guys pay attention. So here we go. What are mermaids? We had Trash Baby with Fishy Friends with Benefits. We had Sticky Plate Guy with That SOS PP Warren. We had Harley Warren with Ugly Motherfuckers and Shit. We had Tom Hanks with Mermaids Have Me bustin' a bunch of times. We have Billy Shakespeare with I sat upon a promontory and heard a mermaid on a dolphin's back, uttering such dulcet and harmonious breath. We had Triad Emergency with Bloops, Blowholes, Melons. What is this? Some kind of mer porn? We had Longtime Boner, First Time Yogurt with Is That a Hole? Better Stick My Finger in It. We had The Wombat Preservationist. I had something prepared for the top half, bottom half questions. Suck it up. Something big under the water. We had The Machinist with Grab Your Big Boy Pants and Credit Card. Then come find me down at the docks and check out my melon. I'll give you a pearl necklace. We had Blue Box UFO with mermaids like sirens or aliens. They're Crescent's friends, and they have bowls ready for seamen to ejaculate into. We had Green Finhawk with They Are Large and Living Under the Water, and occasionally they surface to have sex with Tom Hanks.
What the hell? How does that happen?
Splash. We had Mothman Mother with You can't see them from satellite, so they're just another breed of jellyfish, but they taste like fish. You had K. Mill with If I bloop to Little Mermaid, I get in trouble. If I bloop to Aquaman, my wife joins in. We had Marco the Beast with Forget Mermaids. If she's not half magical purple woman, half octopus, I don't even need to know her name. We had Hose B with Why do mermaids wear seashells? Because B shells are too small and D shells are too big. You had the Fruit Diet Buccaneer. They're pieces of poop that become sentient. You had Unbeliever Carol with Ask Tom Hanks. He hooked up with one. I mean, what happened? Could there be floating lanterns under the sea? We had Ethel Merman with OG Wops. We had Pants Filler with They're in the Water, Honey. That's the Tom Waits one. We had Voodooed with My Ex-Girlfriend Was a Mermaid. When she left, she put rocks in her pocket and dived into the ocean. And finally, we had Susie Cream Cheese with They're Freaking Sexy. That's what they are. I'm going to ask you, Aaron Schilb, who do you think won this week's poll results?
B-cells shelled seashells by the shore.
By the D-cup shore.
He's going with the bra joke. I like that. The shell bra joke.
Okay, all right. That's a very good one from Hose B. How about you, Drea Mora? Who do you think won this week's poll?
Oh, loved Kay Mills, but so incriminating. I I have to give it the cleverness points. OG Wops by Ethel Merman.
That's the other top one. And before I ask you, Rob, I want you to have Soundboard 5 ready. This is going to be the new thing. Once I announce them as a winner, I want you to play this new clip for them. This is a new thing. So, Rob, who do you think won this week's poll?
I got to give it to Hose B, man. That Schilb bra joke, it made me laugh. It was good. It was very well done.
It was good.
There's a bunch of really funny ones this week, but I got to give it to
a lot of really funny ones. And man, it comes down to me. All right, Ethel Merman, you're definitely the runner up, but congratulations. Hose B with why do mermaids wear seashells? Because B shells are too small and D shells are too big. Congratulations. You just won this week's poll results and you get this sound.
It's a bunch of mermaids. That's what that sound is.
That's exactly
And that's
what
it for this week's poll results.
Pearl results?
Well, we come to the end of this week's program. Before we go, Drea Mora, do you have anything you'd like to say or plug?
Yeah, again, I guess just Spirits and Spirits pod on Instagram, at Ghost Drinkers on Twitter. We are starting up a merch store and we're getting a Patreon ready. So that's something, I think.
Excellent. Always check out Spirits and Spirits. Great show. Should be listening.
Thanks.
And what about you, Rob Okey?
Just check out our Patreon, the Unbelievers Podcast on Patreon. We have a bunch of exclusive bonus content up on there. And you can check out my Instagram at Rob Okey. And you can check out Okey Audio on Instagram if you want to see any of the other shows that I'm working on right now.
So many shows.
And finally, Aaron Schilb, do you have anything you like to say or plug?
Yeah, check out my podcast, Nashville Tour Stop. I was talking to Rob a little bit ago about how the episodes where we don't cover topics, we just shoot the shit and get drunk actually do better. So listen to us get drunk on the mic and talk about nothing. And if you want to follow us, check Nashville Tour Stop out on Instagram. And you can follow me if you want to watch the stupid shit I do at the Aaron Schilb on Instagram. That's where I do most all of my stuff these days.
And check out Aaron's stuff. And Nashville Tour Stop, this is not just a podcast. This is Aaron's business that he runs. He runs a regular live show in Nashville of all kind of great, different musical acts. And it has to be, this last year is the complete nightmare scenario for a guy like you who's cutting his teeth, getting his name out there and running a great show. How has it been? Because I know you guys have come back to start to do live shows. How has that been so far?
So it's actually really great because live music never really died here. So it sucks knowing that I'm probably part of the reason why this never got much better here in town. But our first live show back was like May 31st of 2020. So it was before shit hit the fan even harder. And at least at this point now we're doing 3 live events a week. We have pop-up shows. We're getting ready to work with Ole Red, which is Blake Shelton's bar chain. So we got a whole bunch of stuff in the works. I think Kimmy Beatbop from the old days lives in Nashville now. So if she's listening to this, Kimmy, let's meet up.
Yeah, anybody
Kimmy, get out there.
Anybody who goes to Nashville needs to go check out the Nashville Tour Stop and check out Aaron's show while you're out there.
Yeah, it is on my list.
I'll hook you up with some free booze. I know how to do that.
Tell him you're an unbeliever, and he'll hook you up.
I've had people hook me up with booze, man. I showed my ID to a bouncer once, and he goes, "Are you that guy from the Unbeliever podcast?" I'm like,
"Are you kidding?"
I had no idea who he was. What? He was a bouncer, though, so someone listens. It's not me.
That's awesome.
Knows that I know Kevin has been down there to hang out with you. I remember he went there with his dad a while ago.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
It's good to see things getting back to normal in our world. People going out, seeing other people, hearing that live music. Can't wait to see Mothman Fest and all this stuff goes off this year. So that's all I'm going to plug is maybe I'll plug the world getting better. This is podcast host today was Drea Mora, Aaron Schilb, and me, Rus Ryan. Our producer and soundboard engineer is Rob Okey. You can go get our tarot cards at unbelievablepodcast.com. You can join our Patreon by going to patreon.com/unbelieverspodcast. You can follow the show on Twitter at unbelieverspod and Instagram unbelieverspodcast. Our Facebook group is the Unbelievable Podcast Network. Check out our merch store at TeePublic. There is a link in the description. Lots of great stuff there. And thank you so much to our patrons, Sandy and Deborah Foles, Chad Buta, Chris Stroker, Jeffrey Hartsnarf, Luis Peon, Scott E, 8-Bit Melody, Jenny Dyer, Christopher Balderrama, David Egelhoff, Pam Z, JT Sprankling, Vic Foss, Little BB, Dr. Ortega, Tyler Ventura, Adam Dvorak, Corrupted Mass, Michael Phillips, Ruri Exile, Carol Valley, Manny, MQ Ultra, CJP, Braden Hitt, Raymond Orwell, Todd X, Christopher Panici, The Moon, The Judgy Moon, Mike Henry, who has a podcast coming as part of the Mike Army. I'm sure he's ready to announce that soon. Bryce Cronenberg Jr., Dawn Bright, Shannon Ferrigno, Tom O'Connell, Mark Braun, Donna Banch, Jenna Stevens, Cat Chaos, Jason Kelly, Mike, Brian Ashton, Michael Armenta, Jackass, Wombat Preservationist. Our music advisor is Pandora3373. Our official composer and theme song creator is the guy here, Unbeliever Aaron, aka Aaron Schilb. Our official graphic designer and card maker who designed our logo is Raymond Rowell. Check out his work at P Raven Creative on Twitter and Project Raven Creative on Instagram. Official Unbeliever without a title is Nicholas Aristavi. Our official Unbeliever Raising Puck Wudgies is Joe Filler. Our official Hawaiian paranormal investigator is Green Finhawk. Our official resident Sagittarius is Gozanton. Our official Bad is Unbeliever Adam. Our official Mothman enthusiast is Michael Shields. Our official Unbelievers MUFON Inside Man is Chris De Moraes. Our official Unbeliever Peacefully Eating a Hamburger is Michelle Dorham. Our official Unbelievers Time Travelers Taylor Nelson. Our official Ghost Hunter is Emilio Childs. And Ghost Hunter in New England, our official senior European correspondent is Kay Mill of the I Don't Know podcast. Our official Guardian of the Bench is at Kraken Stacker. Our official Alien Bopper is Dunchuck Bob. And this week's Unbeliever Focus is Unbeliever Carol, who won last week's poll results after almost a year-long drought of poll results victories. Congratulations, Carol. She told her daughter and her friends all about this notable accomplishment, and all they could say was...
Champion!
All right, good night, Dorco.
Discontinue! Discontinue!